Newsreel World, real news, real quick. American Secretary of State Antony Blinken put pressure on Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas on Thursday morning to regain control of Jenin and Nablus in the occupied West Bank, putting responsibility for the escalating violence in the territory with Israel on the Palestinians. The U.S. plan would see the Palestinian Authority clamp down on newly emergent Palestinian armed groups in the West Bank, especially those groups which Iran supplies. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said on Thursday that Ukrainian forces will be pushed further back from Russian territories in response to the West's decision to provide Kyiv with longer-range weapons, as Ukraine's foreign sponsors are getting more bogged down in the artillery push, and in the conflict with every step. Quote, now our goal is to push the artillery of the Ukrainian armed forces back to a distance where they would not create a threat to our territories. The longer the range the weapons supplied to Kyiv regime are, the further the troops will need to be moved, Lavrov said. French naval forces in January seized thousands of assault rifles, machine guns, and anti-tank missiles headed from Iran to Yemen's Houthi rebels, who took the country's capital in 2014 and have been at war with a Saudi-led coalition backing the country's internationally recognized government since March 2015. The seizure occurred on January 15th in the Gulf of Oman, a body of water that stretches from the Strait of Hormuz, the narrow mouth of the Gulf, through the Arabian Sea and into the Indian Ocean. North Korea's Central News Agency has promised a tit-for-tat response to any security threats from Washington and Seoul, including using its most overwhelming nuclear force. Pyongyang denounced Washington's offer of the so-called extended deterrence to South Korea as a smokescreen for a military buildup that is turning the Korean peninsula into, quote, a huge war arsenal and a more critical war zone, unquote. The U.S. Embassy in the Solomon Islands reopened Thursday morning, decades after being shut down as redundant amid concerns in Washington about the South Pacific archipelago's overtures to Beijing. The State Department described the reopening as part of an effort to counter China's push into the Pacific. And finally, the Philippines and the United States have agreed to expand their defense pact, with U.S. troops allowed access to 4 more military bases in the Southeast Asian nation. And that's the way the world is. See you next time.